let's talk about your introduction to Alfred Hitchcock. Oh no, I'm Kevin. I've seen his movies, but only partially through scenes. Well, we sat your white ass down and made you watch the entirety of Rome. Well, I could also
Excuse
say,
me, where is this sassiness coming from?
I just cannot believe that you haven't seen a Hitchcock movie at the ripe age of, what are you, like 25? And you haven't seen.
But I got 8,170 movies in my watch list.
But
at some point,
Hitchcock
you can go to that watch list and be like, you haven't seen it yet? Like, bro, please.
Of course, which we often do in a joking way towards each other. I'm just so surprised that a filmmaker like Hitchcock, who's made, I believe, like 50 movies, is someone that you haven't sat through an entire movie. But it's also to remember, he started like in the late 20s, I believe, right? And then he did movies up until like the 60s or 70s or something like that.
I was gonna say 70s.
Yeah, that might have been like the last few that he did. I think wasn't Family Plot his last one in like the middle 70s. And I did once when I got like this book, Hitchcock Truffaut, which is like written down this interview conversation, which I believe was also recorded, so you could just listen to it. And I was like in the middle of film school. I was like, let's go through his filmography chronologically. And recently I watched North by Northwest. I talked about that last week, and we discovered that you haven't seen a single film of his. So I thought, as someone who also studied film in university, who is like that, has that background, and also is someone who focused their thesis on long takes and these one-shot movies. Let's talk about a film that actually sort of did that. There's 10 shots in this film in Rope, but it's sort of the predecessor for that gimmick being explored even more outside of the obvious take of like a theater play, right? That is very like in dimensions, it's like very stagey. It's a very slick movie. It was one of my favorites of Hitchcock's actually, and coming out of it, I'm a bit lower on it because like I see where it places, especially with someone like James Stewart, who's like one of the great leads of Alfred Hitchcock's films. He was in Vertigo. He's amazing in my favorite film of Hitchcock's, in Rear Window. Yeah, I feel like Cary Grant might be, I guess, in more of Hitchcock's films. But regardless, I want to hear from you with your first full experience of Hitchcock. Is it just, he's very technical, he goes in for the close-ups for the big scenes and then he pulls back out, there's something in the middle of the room that builds the tension? Like, does it feel as didactical, like as sort of professory of like breaking the film art down into like, this is how you do to do this and this effect, or were you actually engrossed in the story? Because I feel like that's an interesting point to start with Hitchcock, because a lot of ways he's like, the reference point to like how you do certain things, but maybe not telling the greatest story or with the greatest characters, but he's so technical.
That's maybe the reason why I haven't seen any of his movies yet, because you hear so much about it that you cannot see it in any other way. That's maybe why I've avoided it. I mean, I've got so many great old directors to filmographies to get through. It's crazy. But Hitchcock. So, it is indeed let's say the first one-shot film, which technically isn't true because there are at least 3 hard cuts in this film. And so most of the time, they go to someone's back, it like zoom in until it's like fully black, and then you cut back out. That's how he does the switching of the film reels, and that's how you get this like sort of stitched together movie. And usually you always have the sort of suspense, and like either it's a MacGuffin or the suspense of something being that the audience doesn't know about, or the characters know about but the audience doesn't, and vice versa. That whole thing. And I was a bit surprised with, oh hey, we strangled this guy, put him in the chest, and I was like, wait, wouldn't it be more suspenseful if we didn't know if there was a body in the chest or not? Because apparently in the play that is the case. I'm not totally sure. I actually haven't looked about it, but I looked at the behind the scenes very quickly on the Blu-ray. By the way, can I just say the Blu-ray is fucking confusing as hell because like it does say all the titles on it, but then as you open it, you just have the 2 characters on it, and if you do not know who is in what movie, it is so confusing. Like you have to look at the little text around the disc, see like which movie is this? Oh yeah, it's Rope. It's so confusing as fuck. Yeah, I thought it would be a bit more suspenseful with the body, but it's really more of a will James Stewart discover the body or not? And by the way, just quickly, I think James Stewart is in my top 3 actors of all time, along with Daniel Day-Lewis. And I'd low-key want to put Willem Dafoe in there. Like, that's my top 3 actors of all time. Anyway, and you can feel like things got lost in translation of this movie on multiple levels. In the play is originally English, so British, and you got way more like apparently like the homosexuality way more in the play. Also the characters, all the characters are a bit more fleshed out or like have their own unique characteristics in the play, and they don't get explored as much in the movie. Now the movie is also only 80 minutes, so there's only so much time that you can do that. And so with film and with theater, there's a little bit more of a level playing field. But that said, I mean the rest is solid as hell. I don't think Hitchcock has many misses. Does he? Does he not?
He has a few early on, which I didn't really love, but like a lot of his stuff, like from the 30s on, oftentimes it's like technically it's always well made. It's just sometimes the characters fall flat, and I think it's like what the criticism here was with like James Stewart saying that like this is one of the roles that this is the one role he regrets or the filmmaking with Hitchcock, because it doesn't see himself in the role. Like originally the role was like for someone who's about their age, which was something really confusing to me as well, because I mean supposed to be all
he apparently wanted Cary Grant originally.
Yeah.
But he passed on it.
Well, there was also Montgomery Clift who was brought up here, which, you know, seeing him in some westerns and that sort of tension. There's like the one scene. Is it in Rio Bravo or is it the other one? Because I watched them back to back. I might be confusing them, but there's like one scene where he's comparing his revolver to another guy's revolver, and it's so homosexually like charged with that sort of energy, and I think he would work really well with that tension. Here the dynamic is just someone who's like a suave prick and the other one who's like anxious. It almost feels like a game of Clue, where everyone is like the different, because it's like the first color film that Hitchcock does here as well, where he talked about like he wanted the colors to not stand out too much, for things to not be as apparent, and then he noticed that it's actually like not that much different from black and white in the way that they shot this. I mean, they reshot like the last couple of takes again because he wasn't happy with like how the background looked and something like that. And it is very stagey, right? It's everyone has to hit their marks at the exact point. They talk about it in the interview here. Quite
especially
in detail.
With the kitchen door that like opens up and like closes down, and then you just like the
that tension of like opening up the like cleaning the chest. You mean that scene where like
no at a certain point like with direction he goes to put the rope back in the kitchen, and then you have like a door that like slams open and shut, and you got like the door opens and you see him putting the rope and then in the cupboard, and like it's a very technical shot that you really do have to nail during the one take.
I mean, the one scene where like James Stewart is like going out and then he has the wrong hat, and like the way that it lands on, like boom, and you see like you get all of the information in, like it is so, that's why I was so high on this movie. It is so incredibly technically precise without the dialogue really feeling, at least to me, it didn't feel like it was so clunky in a way of like, here's my like now I start talking and stuff like that. It was like it was well performed too, and I feel like to me who sticks out the most is James Stewart and the way that he enters the story, but he's also set up in the way that he's going to be disrupting the story. I feel like, you know, him entering this movie 27 minutes in, makes more sense if there's more stuff to uncover, but it's literally just they have a body in the chest, and they're sort of being not very sly about it because they feel some sort of mental superiority over them. So it feels like the guy just almost in a way like Brendan almost wants to be caught in a way. And like we end there, obviously spoilers for Rope. We end there where like he's okay with it. He always wants to win him over. And like that speech is like a classic James Stewart speech of like, don't twist my words and what I've said in a different sort of way to justify your actions. And I like that quite a bit. It was entertaining. It's quite. I think it's not like incredibly tense, but I did feel tension. And Brandon was such a fucking asshole, disrupting everything. And like obviously, could have gotten away with it at least that night if he's so obvious in what he's doing and how he's manipulating people.
It is my first Hitchcock, so I don't really know where the bar is. That's the problem. So I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10, and then if I'll ever rewatch it, I can bump it up, I can bump it down. I'll have a better reference point when I rewatch it, I hope.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first Hitchcock scratched off the list.
You know what would be a fun? I'm not gonna make you, watch another one in like 2 weeks' time or something like that. But I think another one that would be interesting is Lifeboat. Because it's set on like it's on this little they were filming in a water tank, and it's just a bunch of people. They're like stranded in a lifeboat together, and they were traveling on a destroyed. They were destroyed by a German U-boat, and they're just like on this little raft, and it's just those. It's just like make that cinematic. Try to do that. And Hitchcock's like, hold my lifeboat. I will do that. And yeah, he that's another one that's like I have almost on the same level as Rope, where maybe the characters are a bit more interesting, but it's been a few years since I've seen it, so can't confirm.
Actually don't own Lifeboat, apparently. Not in the box set.
Oh, that's crazy. I thought you had all of them.
Well, I thought I did too. Like, I literally have Hitchcock Volume 1, I have Hitchcock Volume 2, and then I have another box set that are like 3 of his films. Because like this one is like, it has the Universal logo playing in front of it. Yeah. And then it's like Warner Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, oh, wait, what? Which one is it? But yeah, let me quickly see how many of them I own.
He has 52 in total.
Wait, I only own 20? I thought I did way more. Wait, that's quite funny. So he has a movie called Sabotage, right?
Yeah.
I literally have David Ayer Sabotage. Like, the app has put that as his movie. But I definitely own way more than 20. Like, that can't be accurate at all. So, yeah.
Well, he has a movie called Saboteur, and he has a movie called Sabotage. Easily confused.
Maybe that's a trilogy. Oh my god. The long lost third entry in David Ayers.
And surprisingly, actually an appearance in the movie we are going to review next is, I believe, one of his films. I just noticed that at like Secret Agent. It doesn't that pop up on screen? And it does pop up on screen. I don't know if it's that movie, but I just realized that like that's a movie that he also made called Secret Agent, set during World War One. And they screened a movie called Secret Agent, and I was wondering, wait, what's this movie? And I couldn't figure it out. And now randomly I see it as we are about to review The Secret Agent.
Oh my god.
The connections, they don't end. But yeah, let us know, I guess, what Hitchcock movie Kevin should see next. I only have about 10 left or so that I haven't seen, but you can also, I guess, check what I've seen. And I have a ranked list of the stuff that I've seen with Rear Window at the top. I think that's still like it matches the plot with his technical side the best, I think. Cinema, absolute cinema.